Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is just about early Saturday morning on the East Coast. Wanted to come on here and talk some football. First, I want to give a few North Georgia and Northeast Georgia high school football scores from earlier tonight, since it's round one of the GHSA state playoffs now. North Oconee shuts out Eagles Landing 49 to Goose Egg. By the way, if you jump on here live, feel free to leave a comment in the comments section down below. Give the video a like and a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. Hey there, Austin. I have a feeling we're not going to have a lot of live viewers tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that I'm about the only person that's not watching the Logan Paul or Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. If I had Netflix, I'd probably watch it, but I don't have Netflix, and I'm not going to pay to watch it just to watch a Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. But I do think Jake Paul wins the fight. Oconee County defeats West Side 31-14. The same exact score, Stevens County defeats North Murray 31-14. Ringgold shuts out Hart County 19-0. Norcross defeats Lambert 37-27. And Austin, believe it or not, I am not going to get Netflix. I've already told my wife probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago that I was going to go ahead and stop watching Raw now, because I don't want to get right in the middle of a storyline and then all of a sudden can't watch it anymore because it's changed channels. I already have Peacock, and I'm not going to pay to have 5 or 6 streaming services, because by the time you do that, you're better off just keeping cable or satellite, because you pay $10 for this stream and $10 for this stream and $15 for this stream. You might as well just keep cable or satellite. And I'm not going to pay for Netflix just to watch Raw. Plus, with me now doing high school basketball, and a lot of times high school basketball is on Monday nights, my Mondays are pretty much going to be booked up either every week or every other week until February. And by that time, I'll be so used to not watching Raw that I'm not even going to miss it. I'm still going to watch the premium live events, and I'll still get on the internet after Raw and find out what I missed. But I'm not going to pay to watch wrestling. There's too much free stuff to watch for me to pay extra to watch wrestling. I can do without it. Let's see here. Norcross beat Lambert 37-27. Sprayberry defeats Lanier 27-14. Collins Hill defeats Westlake 35-14. Grayson 56. Pebblebrook 12. Archer 46. Harrison 42. Hey there, Naya. Glad to have you here. Hopefully I pronounced your name the correct way. If not, I apologize. Lee County defeats Habersham Central 47-7. Sequoia eliminates Gainesville 38-28. Milton beats Woodstock 42-7. Carrollton defeats Decula 46-7. Buford all over East Coweta 57-9. Commerce defeats Bremen 35-28. North Hall 21. Gilmer 14. Elbert County 28. Gordon Lee 13, and Morgan County and East Jackson was the game of the night. Morgan County wins 52-49. Hey there, VR Gamer. Glad to have you here. Austin, I have read about Netflix and Raw, but from everything I've read, it seems like, for now anyway, that the premium live events are going to stay on Peacock. Hey there, fun kid. Glad to have you here. And it kind of makes no sense because I'm glad they are, because I have Peacock, so I'll be able to watch them. But, Peacock is owned by NBC, and I'm not sure who owns Netflix, but I do know for certain that it's a separate streaming company owned by a separate company. So Peacock and Netflix are kind of rivals, and they're supposed to be battling each other. So you would think, since Netflix is going to carry Raw, that they would start carrying the PLEs, but the way it sounds, the PLEs, at least for the foreseeable future, will come on Peacock. I don't know if they have a contract where they've got to carry them for a certain amount of time or what. I guess we'll find out down the line, but it seems like right now the PLEs are going to keep coming on Peacock, but Raw will be on Netflix. And Fun Kid, if you do support and the channel by subscribing, I'd appreciate that very much. Hey there, David. Glad to have you here. And Fun Kid, I am glad you subscribed. And that's why I'm not going to watch it, Austin, because all they want is more money. And there's just too much free stuff for me to watch, to pay to watch wrestling. Before the premium live events started, as much as I love wrestling, before the premium live events started and you had to pay to watch the pay-per-views, I bought one per year, and that was WrestleMania. That's the only one that I paid because it's WrestleMania. It's the Super Bowl of wrestling. You have to watch that. But outside of that, I was watching Raw and SmackDown and TNA back in the day when I had the channel when it came on. But I'm not paying the extra $50 to watch wrestling. There's too much wrestling that's free on TV for me to pay to watch it. Between independent wrestling and pro wrestling, especially with YouTube, I can get on YouTube all day long and watch free wrestling. I'm not paying to watch it. I'm sorry. Some folks do, but I don't. And it's not just wrestling. I feel that way about everything. I know there's coming a day when whoever your favorite NFL team is or college team, they're going to start coming on different channels that you don't have, and you're going to have to pay to watch them. When that happens, I'll stop watching Clemson. I'll listen on the radio, and then I'll go back and watch highlights once they're on YouTube. But I am not going to pay extra to watch football. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. There is nothing that comes on TV on any channel, any day, any time, that I'm going to pay extra to watch. If I already have the channel, great. But you're going to give me 945 channels and then tell me I got to pay extra to watch something else? Nope, sorry. I'm not doing it. But let's talk some NFL. Thursday night, the Eagles beat the Commanders 26-18. It was actually Commanders 10, Eagles 6 going to the fourth quarter, and the Eagles got 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and they missed an extra point. The Eagles, I would say, are the best team in the NFL, except for I just don't trust Nick Sirianni. I wish I did, but he just does too many dumb things, and I just can't trust him. And they are bringing back Saturday night's main event, but I think it's going to be 5 or 6 episodes, not just one. It's going to be 5 or 6 altogether. Now, back in the day, that was, one of the big, huge wrestling shows, but it's not anymore. But they are bringing it back. Hopefully it does good, so they'll do more of them. And Fun Kid, I normally have more on here live, but I mentioned when I started tonight's video that I had a feeling I wouldn't get a lot of live viewers tonight because I think I'm the only person in the world that's not watching the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, and I know everybody else is there watching that. But I still wanted to come on here and give the ones that may not be watching that or can watch that with the volume turned down a chance to come on here and comment. But I had a feeling I wouldn't be getting a lot of live viewers tonight. But the last few lives I've done, I've got a pretty good amount of viewers. Going live here lately has helped the channel out tremendously. We have grown exponentially in the last couple of weeks by doing these live videos. But the Eagles right now, Saquon Barkley is dominating, and there was a time in the NFL where it looked like running backs are pretty much gone by the wayside, and you've seen a lot of good running backs that either nobody wanted or nobody wanted to pay a lot of money for. But I think Saquon Barkley doing so good and the Eagles being so good right now is showing people that the running backs are going to make a return because he is exciting to watch. But the Eagles fans have been mad at Nick Sirianni the last couple of weeks because he's been overly aggressive. And it's okay to be aggressive, but sometimes just being overly aggressive is just dumb. So Thursday night, he decided to actually kick 2 field goals, and Jake Elliott missed one of them, and then he missed an extra point. So Jake Elliott left 7 points on the board. And Austin, it's a boxing match. Boxing was big back in the day. It's not now. I wish it was. I've always loved boxing, but now they just don't have enough fighters that anybody knows about to make you follow it. And they've got 45 different promotions, and all their boxers fight twice a year tops. And you've got 14 world champions, so it's too hard to follow. And then their pay-per-views are $75 or so, and nobody's heard of your fighters. Nobody's going to pay $75 to watch fighters that they know nothing about. But I personally think Jake Paul wins this fight because, Jake Paul actually wants to be a boxer now. And you go out there against an almost 60-year-old man, you get beat, you've killed your boxing career. If you can't beat somebody more than twice your age, you're not going to beat somebody that's your age. So because of that and the fact that Mike Tyson is probably the most overrated fighter of all time, so I think Jake Paul wins that fight. Coming up on Sunday, which is now tomorrow on the East Coast, we have the Packers and the Bears. We have the Jaguars and the Lions. We have the Vikings and the Titans. We have the Raiders and the Dolphins. We have the Rams and the Patriots, the Browns and the Saints, the Colts and the Jets, and the Ravens and the Steelers. Those are all the 1 o'clock games on Sunday. I'm trying to read the comments as I go. Austin, I used to be a big fan of UFC when it first started, but then they tried to get like the NFL and put in all these rules to make it safer, and they got to where when they're on the ground, you can't knee them, you can't kick them, you can't elbow them. And I just seen too many fights with 2 grown men in their underwear on the ground just rolling back and forth holding each other, and I kind of lost interest. But a decade ago, I loved UFC, but not now. They used to have one called Bare Knuckle Championship, and I liked that one better because they didn't have all the rules UFC had, but there's just too many fights now where the guys just get on the ground and roll around and hold each other. And that's the ultimate holding championship, not the ultimate fighting championship. But P World said that this fight tonight is rigged, and it might be. I personally have a hard time believing that because anybody that follows boxing sees what kind of shape Muhammad Ali was in after all the years he boxed. And nobody wants to be in that kind of condition, especially if you're Jake Paul. And as strong as Mike Tyson is, it just makes no sense to go out there and let him knock you out, and it might cause long-term brain damage. To me, that just sounds dumb. If he does it, he does it. But to go in there and let him do it knowing it might cause you long-term brain damage, that just sounds dumb To me, that's just my personal opinion. Mike Tyson is old now and he's slow, but if he hits you, you're still going to feel it. It's just he's so slow. If you're fast, you've got time to duck out of the way. But if he hits you, you're still going to feel it. 4 o'clock on Sunday, we have the Falcons and the Broncos, the Seahawks and the 49ers and the Chiefs and the Bills. So only 3 games in the 4 o'clock window. You hate it because the two best games on Sunday in the NFL are the Falcons and Broncos and the Chiefs and Bills, and both of those games are in the 4 o'clock window. But the Chiefs have been getting very lucky this year, so I have a feeling Sunday is when they get got. I think the Bills beat them. And hey there, SLB, I'm glad you tuned in tonight. And if you're the Falcons, you need to be able to score some points to beat the Broncos because the Falcons' offense looks good against the bad teams, but when they play the good teams, they're struggling to score, and the Broncos are putrid on offense, but they might be the best defense in the NFL. So the Falcons need to score some points. Plus, if you're the Falcons, you have a bye week next week, and then after your bye, you play the Chargers, I believe. So you're looking at the possibility of losing 3 straight games. So the Falcons need this win on Sunday. And SLB, I'm sorry, but the Broncos are awful on offense. There is nothing about their offense that you can look at and say they're good. Their passing game is average. Their running game is average. And that's putting it lightly. They're probably top 5 in defense and bottom 5 in offense. So if the Falcons don't turn the ball over, the Broncos won't score 14 points. But their defense is so good, I don't know if the Falcons will score a lot of points. But it's going to be another exciting day of NFL action. There's more bad teams this year in the NFL than there has been in a long time. Typically, you have 1 or 2 teams that are bottom feeders. This year, you've got 7 or 8 teams that are just flat out awful. I really couldn't tell you which one was the worst, but there's a lot of them that are pretty bad. In Austin, I have SWA tonight. I think I talked about that earlier in the week here on the channel, but tonight we're having a SWA benefit show. 6 o'clock, doors open. 7 o'clock is bell time. So I had high school basketball earlier tonight, and then I've got wrestling coming up tomorrow night, or now it's tonight on the East Coast. So I've got another busy weekend. That is the way I like it. Who wants to sit around all the time? I like staying busy. Any thoughts on any of this? Please feel free to let me know. The Colts announced that they have gone back to Anthony Richardson. I don't think he's very good, but I think he's their best option. Joe Flacco is old and washed up, and I mentioned here on the channel back in, I want to say, week number 1 after the Browns' first game, how bad Deshaun Watson looked and that I thought he was done, and now he's out for the season. Between all his off-the-field stuff he's done and the fact that when he plays, he looks terrible, and I think the last 5 years he's played, he's had 3 serious injuries, including this one. I don't think he ever plays for the Browns again, and he's played so bad, I don't know if anybody will sign him. I personally, if I was a GM, I wouldn't sign him. There's nothing about Deshaun Watson right now that screams good football. He sucks in every way imaginable. I don't know if he just ain't any good or if all the off-the-field stuff has gotten his mind and messed him up. But after his first about 3 years with the Houston Texans, he has not been the same quarterback. So his career might be over with. You hate to see it because he's still very young. But when you have all that off-the-field stuff going on and you suck when you play and you're hurt when you play, there's nobody that's going to want you. So there might be a couple of bottom feeders that take a chance because it's not going to hurt you if it doesn't work. But as far as good competitive football for Deshaun Watson, at least for the foreseeable future, that's no more. But let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Not to brag, but my chauffeur has never steered me wrong. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.